Real deal. Right now, live in studio, we have my friend Mark Cantor, attorney at law. Always good to see you.
Thank you. If there's snow and ice, drive slow and nice.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. I'm telling you, man, I have all sorts of anxieties, and I've never, ever had driving anxiety until my Jeep was totaled back in October, I think it was, September. And just looking up and seeing that white flash and being hit by someone probably going 50 miles an hour, never hit their brakes. I was at a complete stop. Man, it freaks you out.
Terrible, right?
And it leaves you like I drive home in bumper-to-bumper traffic every night on the same route that I got hit, and I am just head on a swivel.
Right, and people don't understand that in the snow and ice, their brakes don't work because they're sliding.
Yeah.
So,
and we do it. I don't know about you guys. My dad took me out on like a frozen, snowy schnook slot when no one was there, and I just drove around and did donuts and slammed on the brakes, and I still use that stuff today.
Same. And, you know, I let people come to my property. We have a lot of ATVs, and the best way to learn how to drive is where if you can hit a tree and it won't matter.
Right.
So like here, drive here, and it gives people spatial understanding for a car. And we have some big ATVs too. So it's the best way, I think, to learn. And then, of course, stick shifts. I want my kids to be able to drive a manual, and the best place to do that is in the country in Missouri.
Yeah.
So parking lots and woods are great places to drive.
Yeah, we're the last generation to be able to drive a stick.
Right.
Yeah.
My kids can't do it.
Yeah,
so,
they don't even make them, really.
Right. I have a stick shift. I have a 37 Jeep Willys, and but I won't let them drive it because they're going to mess it up.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us about the Evening of Resilience that you're the co-chair for.
So that was last night at the Holocaust Museum, and I was proud to host Omer Venkert, who was a hostage in the terror tunnels of Gaza, held by Hamas for 505 days. And he was starved nearly to death and beaten on a regular basis and held in a tunnel that was 3 feet wide and 15 feet long and did not see the light of day for 505 days. So I was proud to host him and to sponsor him and his girlfriend. And they came and they stayed at my home, and they stayed at my property called Cantorland. And just he's an amazing person and was just thankful for his freedom and had gratitude for that. It makes you reflect and understand how lucky we are as Americans to have our American freedoms, and how there's evil in the world. This guy came and exposed the pure evil of this Islamic terrorism, and that's what it is. I mean, these Palestinians in Gaza held him and abused him and beat him and raped and murdered people, and just terrible, horrendous, evil things that are outside of the boundaries of war. And he came and spoke about it, and that was amazing.
When I see the horrific things that people do, my fellow humans, I always think, I can't believe I'm the same DNA as this monster. Then when I see things like this guy, I can't imagine it. I can imagine a lot of things. I can't imagine 2 days in that culvert, 505 days. And then I think, you're the same DNA as that guy.
Right. And, you know, he had a little hole for his personal needs, you know, his toilet. And he didn't shower. They gave him a 2-liter bottle of water once to rinse off, 505 days. The cruelty is unimaginable. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I don't understand how anyone can do that. But there is pure evil in this world. And for him to get out and be reasonably normal, and to just say, I'm so thankful and grateful to be here. And, I knew he was going to have food insecurity, and he was staying in my home. So I just bought every type of food imaginable. I bought mango juice and pineapple juice and orange juice, and I bought steaks and, Nova lox and bagels, things that I knew that he'd want. And, they only stayed for 2 days, so I'm getting kind of fat eating it all, all the leftovers.
How did he get through? How did he occupy his mind?
So he said he had a mantra that I am not responsible for this, that there's nothing I could do about this. My obligation is to survive. And he had a schedule, and, most people, all the women died because they were raped and they didn't want them to tell their stories. And so only the men were released. There's still one hostage remains that's being held in violation of all the agreements. But he had a amazing desire and will to live. And his girlfriend actually came too, Adi, and she was a victim of the Nova Festival. Her friends were murdered. And, Omer tells about hand grenades being thrown in the bomb shelter. They threw 5 hand grenades in this bomb shelter. And, it was a miracle that he survived. And there's, if you're a religious person, you might believe that he survived so that he could tell the story. Yeah. And he came and he told it, and you could hear a pin drop. He was supposed to speak for 50 minutes. He spoke for an hour and a half to a full room at the Holocaust Museum, and was amazing. So I'm grateful to have hosted him and that he survived.
I wonder if he'd do the show. I would love to have him on.
We could certainly, I'm good friends with him now. I've invited him back to Missouri anytime he wants. He loved Cantorland because of the freedom, and we were out there. It was 15 degrees, and we're in ATVs without windshields, driving for 2 hours. Not a single complaint.
I bet.
Just so happy to be there, and he came with, he had our friend Nir, who is a retired commander of the Golani Brigade, high up. Because we don't want anything else bad to happen. So they, they make sure that, and Nir was an amazing person too. He leads groups of Christians to Israel and knows the New Testament and the Old Testament. He's a Jewish guy, but he, will take you to the Galilee and will take you to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, wherever you want to go, and know more about it than most Christians. Yeah. So it was just, an amazing blessing to be able to host these people in my home. And that, I'm happy to be here. And Cantor Injury Law was a sponsor because I'm proudly Jewish and support Israel.
Yeah, good for you. I hope we get to talk to him. That's an amazing story. Okay, let's pivot to talk about some law. It's timely that you're here because this weekend, as we know, is going to be some level of cluster. Sadly, people listening right now will have somewhere between fender benders and serious accidents. So let's talk about driving in bad weather. Let's talk about responsibility and culpability. And let's end with talking specifically about big rigs and trucks.
Certainly. So, the obligation to use the highest degree of care, that degree of care that a very careful person uses under the same or similar circumstance, doesn't change just because there's snow and ice. So you have to give yourself a reasonable stopping distance. And we said at the beginning of the show, snow and ice, drive slow and nice. Stay away from the car in front of you. Only drive as fast as you want to hit something. So that obligation remains. You don't get to use the excuse, well, it was ice and I slid into their back. That actually wins your case. So the obligations are the same. Trucking collisions, truck drivers are usually the best drivers. They're professional, and that's the way they should be. But they make mistakes too, and truckers take 10 hours off and they can drive for 11. They can never drive for more than 14 hours, and we keep logs. And at Cantor Injury Law, sometimes we've caught them cheating. You got to keep your logs. We can compare those to the fuel logs, to the electronic data. But, tired on the road is never a good mix, and tired on the road with snow and ice is a terrible mix. And, these trucks weigh 80,000 pounds, and your car probably weighs less than 5,000 pounds. And so when there's a collision, it's catastrophic, and you need excellent representation. The insurance adjusters are going to have a person for the trucking company as early as they can, sometimes at the scene. And so if you're unfortunately harmed by one of these, you need a lawyer that's also capable of representing you immediately. And that's Cantor Injury Law. We're right here. We're only in Missouri and Southern Illinois. We're not one of these national firms where you're just a number. So I want everyone to drive safely out there. But if someone else doesn't, they should call Cantor Injury Law.
628-9999.
You got it.
Hey, how about that? 314-628-9999 or Cantor, CANTOR, CantorInjuryLaw.com. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Dave. Appreciate
Anytime.
it.